Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 359 based on novel. So let's start. It could devour all spells in the world for its own use. This was the ancient god treasure that ancient god Tusai refined back then. Tusai was extremely satisfied with this treasure, but it was lacking a spirit, so he turned it into a mountain and threw it on a planet. He hoped to use time to condense a spirit for it. After he finished his technique, this would be a treasure that would be on par with his god-slaying spear. However, it was unfortunate that Tusai failed and this trident was lost in the flow of time. After the All-Seer obtained it, he could use its power, but he couldn't activate its ability. Only an ancient god could use its ability. Although Wang Lin's cultivation level was below the All-Seer's, he was an ancient god. After experiencing the first trial and two calamities, he was now a true ancient god. With the trident in hand, he could display its spell-devouring ability. The three dragons were the devouring dragons. The life and death restriction was devoured and became a spell of the trident. The restriction flew out and fused with the black dragons as they rushed at the pseudo-nirvana void crystal sword. This crystal sword was very powerful among the treasures that Master Ashenpine had. The reason he had taken it out was to quickly kill Wang Lin. As it flew across the sky, it seemed like it could slice the world in half. The black dragons immediately closed in on the crystal sword. A thunderous rumble echoed as the three dragons opened their mouths and devoured the crystal sword. At the same time, the three black dragons' bodies trembled. A roar came from one of the dragons, but it didn't explode. It struggled to return to Wang Lin along with the other two dragons, and they turned back into the trident. There was a faint, crystal glow on the trident's body, then an imprint of the crystal sword slowly appeared on it. Master Ashenpine's expression changed, but he quickly charged forward. His right hand formed a seal and pointed forward. A flash of light appeared before him and instantly changed into endless sword energy. The sword energy filled the sky and shot at Wang Lin. Shortly after, his right hand reached at his storage bag and three beads appeared. He threw them and shouted, "Summon, defying one." All the seven-colored light in the world gathered once more and surged into the three beads. As popping sounds echoed, one of the beads quickly collapsed. The moment it collapsed, it turned into a blurry shadow in the sky. It was impossible to see clearly what the shadow was, but a sword might envelop the world. The shadow lifted its right hand and pointed at Wang Lin. With one finger, all the seven-colored light gathered an array of seven-colored sword energy that could pierce the world shot at Wang Lin. Shortly after, another bead collapsed. The earth trembled and a large part of the wall-like mountain range collapsed. A stone giant walked out from the mountains, each step causing the ground to shake. The stone giant was draped in the seven-colored light and charged at Wang Lin. At this moment, the third bead exploded. The seven-colored light gathered like crazy and turned into a giant compass. This compass was ethereal, and it rapidly rotated to create a powerful pressure. The moment he started attacking, he used all his killing aces. He obviously wanted to kill Wang Lin quickly. His right hand formed a seal and pointed to between his eyebrows, then his face turned red and another ray of bloodlight flew out. There was something like a nascent soul inside the bloodlight. It was exactly the same as the thing that attacked the old woman in green. This nascent soul released a fierce scream and charged toward Wang Lin in a blood-red glow. It contained an unspeakable ferociousness on its face. All of this happened in an instant. The moment the trident returned to Wang Lin, Master Ashenpine's killing move arrived. He was at the mid-stage of Nirvana Shatra, so his dense origin energy allowed his spells and magic treasures to have shocking power. Wang Lin's expression was calm and his eyes were filled with battle intent. He grabbed the trident and threw it into the sky at the compass. From Wang Lin's point of view, this was the most dangerous item. Shortly after, his right hand formed a seal and pointed forward. The seven-colored sky was covered in a roaring, black wind. A number of black dragons formed, but they didn't scatter. Instead, they all shot toward the blurry, seven-colored figure in the sky. After call the wind came summon the rain. Wang Lin waved his sleeves and thousands of drops of crystal rain appeared. They quickly shot at the immeasurable sword energy Master Ashenpine had shot out, and a portion of them went after the stone giant. Popping sounds echoed as Wang Lin walked forward and his right hand formed a fist. He threw a punch at the incoming seven-colored sword energy. A thunderous rumble echoed. The seven-colored sword energy trembled and 6 of the colors collapsed. Only the blue light hot out and drilled into Wang Lin's right hand. Wang Lin's body trembled as he felt a crazed aura rush into his body from his arm, causing him to let out a groan. His left hand formed a seal and pointed at the void, then he opened his mouth to allow the celestial sealing stamp to fly out. The moment it appeared, battle souls came out one by one. Master Void, the All-Seer, and Wu Qing all appeared and charged at the ferocious-looking blood-nascent soul. In addition, a large amount of battle souls walked out from the celestial sealing stamp. There were Celestials, all Heaven cultivators, and Alliance cultivators. This immediately caused a violent aura to envelope the area. This scene caused Master Ashenpine to suck in a breath of cold air. He thought that he had overestimated Wang Lin, but just the few treasures Wang Lin had shown were enough to terrify ordinary cultivators. A thunderous rumble echoed in the seven-colored world. The trident rushed at the compass in the sky, but when it was 7 inches away, it was stopped by a 7-colored light screen. The 3 dragons on the trident devoured the light screen like crazy and continued to close in. The blurry figure that was also floating in the sky gradually dissipated under the impact of the black dragons formed by colder wind. Even farther away, the stone giant was covered in countless layers of ice under the assault of the countless raindrops. Before it could even get close, it turned into a giant ice sculpture. The blood-nascent soul-like thing screamed under assault of the souls of the old monsters. It tried to escape, but it couldn't get out. What was worth Wang Lin's attention was the All-Seer's soul. The moment it appeared, its eyes were filled with confusion. It didn't follow the order of magic arsenal to attack but instead stared at the sky. Wang Lin didn't have time to pay attention to the All-Seer's soul. He rushed out and his hand reached at the void. Countless bolts of lightning appeared. It looked like Wang Lin had grabbed lightning. The endless lightning condensed and turned into an ethereal spear. This was the illusion of the god-slaying spear. He mercilessly threw the spear, and it shot at the huge compass in the sky, breaking all obstacles in its path. Wang Lin didn't stop there. He charged forward and his right hand mercilessly pressed down. His huge palm descended from the sky as 2 fingers from his left hand quickly pressed down on the back of his right hand. The origin energy surged from the 7-colored world and rushed into his right hand. A giant illusionary handprint appeared before his right hand and descended on Master Ashenpine. Master Ashenpine's eyes were bloodshot and revealed a hint of madness. He bit the tip of his tongue and spat out a mouthful of blood. He waved his right hand and his expression became ferocious. 7 nascent souls immediately appeared, and they all let out mournful cries. In the blink of an eye, a lightning mark appeared before Master Ashenpine. The moment the lightning mark appeared, the entire world darkened. It was as if all the light in the world was absorbed by this lightning mark. Using the blood of 100 origins to exchange for the 7th spirit of the sealed realm? Master Ashenpine roared as the lightning mark flashed. At this moment, Wang Lin's palm descended on the lightning mark. A thunderous rumble echoed and the palm collapsed. The moment it collapsed, a ray of lightning shot out toward Wang Lin. It was so fast that Wang Lin didn't have time to dodge at all. It landed on his chest. Wang Lin's body trembled and was knocked back several steps. For the first time, ancient god blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth, but his eyes were fierce. His right hand reached at the void and an iron sword appeared. It circled his palm once as if it was locking onto a target and shot at Master Ashenpine. Master Ashenpine's left hand waved at his storage space and a 7-colored nail appeared. This was exactly the same as the one that had pierced the skeleton with the Tao scripture engraved on its bones. Die for this old man. Master Ashenpine waved his hand and the 7-colored nail shot at the iron sword. This nail contained an unimaginable pressure. It was actually stronger than pseudo-nirvana void treasures. In an instant, the nail collided with the iron sword. Crackling sounds echoed, and the iron sword cracked down the middle and split in half. The seven-colored nail shattered the iron sword and directly embedded itself into Wang Lin's right shoulder. An intense pain washed through Wang Lin's body, causing him to tremble. At the same time, although the sword was split, the tip of the sword penetrated Master Ashenpine's chest and inserted itself into the ground. Master Ashenpine coughed out blood. He was seriously injured as he turned around and charged at the wall like mountains. Wang Lin's body trembled violently. The seven-colored nail seemed to be able to piece his origin soul. His eyes became confused and his body rapidly shrank. He was about to turn to the size of an ordinary person. He clenched his teeth as he stared at the escaping Master Ashenpine that was constantly coughing out blood. The war spirit print appeared in his mind and he ferociously pushed his palm forward. The war spirit print appeared, and the world stirred. When it got near Master Ashenpine, he used some unknown spell that caused his body to collapse into seven-colored fog. He was able to escape death as the seven-colored fog wrapped around his origin soul and disappeared over the other side of the mountain. Wang Lin coughed out blood and his body returned to normal. He retrieved all his treasures and didn't even bother looking at the old woman trapped inside the restriction before he quickly left. His face was pale and a large amount of blood was flowing out of his shoulder. His battle against Master Ashenpine had resulted in both of them being seriously injured. The giant compass in the sky slowly moved and chased after Wang Lin. Wang Lin's face was pale without a trace of blood. The blood at the corner of his mouth made a shocking contrast. He put away all his treasures, including the split iron sword, and retreated into the distance. The blood-nascent souls Master Ashenpine had sent out couldn't escape and were captured by Wang Lin's battle souls. His vision was blurry and the feeling of drowsiness filled his whole body while intense pain came from his right shoulder. He was alternating between passing out and being awake. In his eyes, it looked like there were multiple roads before him. The giant compass moved in the sky. It was locked onto Wang Lin and kept moving with him. As it rapidly rotated, a powerful pressure applied and locked onto the escaping Wang Lin. Wang Lin was very weak, and under this pressure, he almost staggered. Just at this moment, a loud rumble came from the compass, and it rotated even faster. Seven-colored light gathered in the compass like crazy, and soon, countless seven-colored runes appeared around the compass. A sense of danger spread in Wang Lin's heart. At this moment of danger, Wang Lin mercilessly bit his tongue to become sober. Just at this moment, the countless runes descended from the compass. The moment the runes fell, Wang Lin clenched his teeth and his left hand reached at the void, grabbing the trident. The runes whistled through the sky and fell like rain. A thunderous rumble echoed, and Wang Lin coughed out blood. Many of the runes landed on Wang Lin's body, leaving deep imprints, and each mark caused Wang Lin's body to tremble. His eyes were filled with madness. This was Wang Lin's character. The more critical the moment, the more dangerous it was, the more calm he was, but with a hint of madness. Calmness and madness weren't contradictory. Calm judgment, but crazy actions. The compass had to be destroyed, or else it would continue to chase Wang Lin and bring him danger. Also, with this thing following him around, Wang Lin would be at the mercy of the two enemies in this place. As Wang Lin's left hand held the trident, the madness in his eyes became even stronger. He knew he didn't have much sober time left. As his injuries grew worse, he could lose his consciousness at any time. He had to break this compass and find place to heal. Time was of the essence. Wang Lin took a deep breath and battle intent filled his eyes. Fire filled his left eye and the red vermilion bird armor appeared around Wang Lin. At the same time, thunder flashed in his right eye and made the area within 10,000 feet of him a thunder lake. The thunder rumbled as the lightning snaked across the earth. Popping sounds came from the earth as lightning traveled along it. The remnants of his ancient god power left his right hand and gathered in the trident in his left arm. At this instant, a thunderous roar that defied the heavens echoed and Wang Lin jumped off the ground. A sea of flames suddenly appeared and a vermilion bird appeared around Wang Lin. It was as if Wang Lin had taken control of all the fire in the world and charged at the compass. The moment he charged out, the thunder rumbled and flew into the air along with Wang Lin. The thunder rose up with Wang Lin and formed a thunder mountain. A mountain made of thunder. Wang Lin was at the peak of the mountain. The Thunder Mountain grew and eventually condensed outside of Wang Lin's body. It was as if Wang Lin had absorbed the Thunder Mountain. With the power of thunder and fire, Wang Lin was like a meteor covered in thunder and fire. He held the trident as he charged forward, searching for his own heaven-defying cultivation path. His speed became faster and faster. The moment the countless runes appeared around the compass, he closed in. The sound of him breaking through the sky became louder and louder until it was an earth-shattering roar. 9. Mysterious transformation. Wang Lin's eyes were bloodshot as he unexpectedly split into 9 parts and then fused back into one. An aura far more powerful than before descended on Wang Lin's body in this 7-colored realm. The cry of the vermilion bird echoed, and Wang Lin's figure was dazzling as he charged at the compass. He moved faster than before and smashed into the compass. A thunderous rumble echoed like crazy. The rotating compass trembled and began to collapse. At first it was just cracks, but soon the cracks spread until it was covered in cracks. Then, with a bang, it was torn apart. As the countless fragments scattered, a red figure flew out from the collapsed compass. It didn't even look back before it disappeared over the horizon. Although this figure had dissipated, the sound of the compass collapsing echoed across the entire 7-colored realm. On the outer region, a large amount of fog beasts rapidly condensed and looked at the direction where this earth-shattering sound had come from. The numerous lost ones wandering around all stopped. They raised their heads and looked at the direction of the sound with confused expressions. The boy named Duanmu was one of them. There was a hidden cave in a mountain on the outer region of the 7-colored realm. There was a burly man sitting inside the cave. His face was pale and there was still blood scattered over his clothes. His eyes suddenly opened and the rumble and fluctuations he felt made him gasp. He was Chen Qianjun. The old woman was trapped inside the restriction outside the valley and couldn't escape in a short period of time. She had to withstand the constant attacks of the restrictions and her face was pale, but her eyes were filled with unwillingness. Her hands kept forming seals and sending out restrictions to resist, but the power of the restrictions here was far beyond her imagination. The life and death restriction had completely fused with the annihilation restriction, so she could no longer control it. She was constantly being attacked and her injuries were getting worse as time went by. The moment the heaven-shaking rumble came, the old woman suddenly looked up, bewildered and uncertain. This rumble echoed across the 7-colored realm and passed through the wall-like mountain range. It traveled through the fog, causing the fog to rumble. The large amount of enlightened ones stopped chanting for the first time and looked over in a daze. Inside the fog, between the eyebrows of the huge statue with a lightning mark on its forehead, there was a cloud of 7-colored fog. Master Ashenpine's weakened origin soul was sitting here healing. The moment that rumble arrived, he suddenly looked up and was filled with shock. This time he was truly shocked. He had already predicted that Wang Lin would be powerful, but he had never thought Wang Lin would be able to match him and cause them both to become seriously injured. Thinking back to all the treasures he had used, he felt his heart bleed, especially those 3 beads. Losing them really stung his heart, and the crystal sword as well. However, compared to the 7-colored nail, these things were truly insignificant. Thinking about the 7-colored nail, Master Ashenpine felt like his origin soul was about to collapse. That nail was the most powerful treasure he had, and it was his hidden ace. However, even after he took it out, he couldn't kill that cultivator named Lu. He had even lost his own body and almost died. The reason he escaped, aside from him being too weak to keep fighting, was that he was sure Wang Lin would die. Being that seriously injured meant that Wang Lin couldn't possibly escape the compass spell formed by the bead. Once Wang Lin died, he could control the compass to bring the body back and absorb the origin soul. After his injuries recovered, he could easily obtain everything. However, the roar and the sensation of his connection to it being cut off shocked Master Ashenpine, and he began to ponder. Even with injuries that severe, he was still able to break the spell on the compass. For the first time, Master Ashenpine felt fearful of Wang Lin. The mountain where Master Ashenpine was at was not the true center of the 7-colored realm like he had said. Even deeper, at the edge of the true center of the 7-colored realm, there was a valley submerged in fog. Master Cloud Soul was sitting there with a pale face, and he didn't dare to move an inch. Wang Lin's divine sense became blurry as he quickly moved forward. However, he clenched his teeth to keep a trace of sanity. His vision gradually dimmed as he rushed into a deserted valley and into a deserted cave. He only had time to open his storage space to allow the woman in silver and Shuligua to come out before he fell on the ground and passed out. Shuligua completed had his task when Wang Lin was killing noble money and was put away by Wang Lin. Now that he had come, he was about to boast, but he immediately saw that Wang Lin's eyes were closed and that his face was ashen grey. His eyes couldn't help but turn. However, just at this moment, a cold snort appeared. Shuligua's body trembled and he immediately revealed a look of flattery. He already knew how powerful this silver female corpse was, so he wouldn't dare to offend her. "Guard," the woman in silver said in a cold voice, then she sat down next to Wang Lin. When she looked at Wang Lin, there was a hint of confusion and tenderness in her eyes. Shuligua quickly agreed. After he noticed that the woman in silver was no longer paying attention to him and was only looking at the fiend, he began to pretend like he was guarding. However, he was secretly complaining in his heart. "What's good-looking about that fiend? It is your grandpa Shu who is suave, graceful, handsome, and beautiful. Alas, I'm just too eye-catching, and I'm completely helpless about it." Shu Liu was sighing in his heart and revealed a very regretful expression. The woman in silver withdrew her gaze after a long time, and the confusion in her eyes became even stronger. She vaguely seemed to remember something, but it was very vague. She lifted her jade-like hand and waved it according to her fuzzy memories. There was a faint flash of a ghostly light and a restriction landed on the entrance of the cave. If Wang Lin was awake and saw this, his eyes would narrow. This restriction was the life and death restriction. This technique was far above what the old woman had made, extremely skillful. Wang Lin wasn't in a coma for too long. After a few hours, he opened his eyes, and when he saw the entrance, he was startled. He looked at the woman in silver but didn't ask. Instead, he sat down and began to cultivate. Time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, 3 days went by. During these 3 days, the outside world was calm without the slightest fluctuation. It was as if all the cultivators in the seven-colored realm were recovering as much as possible. After 3 days, not only did Wang Lin's complexion not recover, he became even more pale. There was a faint, seven-colored glow coming from his right shoulder. The wound had healed, but the nail was still impaled in his bone. The seven-colored nail made his bones constantly shatter, but due to his powerful ancient god vitality, the shattered bone was quickly recovering. This repeated endlessly and brought Wang Lin intense pain. What was even more serious was that not only was the seven-colored nail embedded into his bones, it also felt like it had penetrated into Wang Lin's origin soul. His origin soul was sluggish and weak. If that was it, it wouldn't have been an issue, but Wang Lin was shocked to find that the seven-colored nail was constantly draining his vitality. It was as if it wouldn't stop until it had drained all his vitality. What kind of treasure is this to have the power to even break the pseudo-nirvana void sword in half? Wang Lin's heart ached. The iron sword had been with him for many years and had been extremely useful, but now it was broken. There were also the beads that Master Ashen Pine threw out. Each of them could summon a spell in this seven-colored world. They are very strange. Even the heavenly fate finger appeared from one. As Wang Lin endured the pain, he began to ponder. He thought about when the All-Seer's battle soul appeared and looked at the sky in confusion. This place must be connected to the All-Seer. After pondering a bit, there was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. However, Master Ashen Pine is also seriously injured. His body collapsed under the war spirit print and only his origin soul escaped. He was also seriously injured by the iron sword and has consumed a lot of his treasures. I must recover as soon as possible, and the next time we meet, he will undoubtedly die. There is also that old woman in green who was trapped inside the restriction. Even though she is proficient in the life and death restriction, with my annihilation restriction mixed in, it won't be simple for her to come out. Even if she breaks out by force, she will be seriously injured. There is also Master Cloud Soul. When he was teleported here, he was teleported to a random location, but I don't know where. However, this place is filled with danger, and being randomly transported here is very dangerous. It is likely he can't even fend for himself right now. These three were all done in by me, but that Chen Qianzhen left early. Although we felt his spells dissipate before, it is difficult to prove he is dead. Everyone here was scheming against each other, and no one wanted the others to leave here with the treasure. This was what they called, even though a person doesn't want to harm a tiger would still want to harm the person. If you continue to be passive, you will only end up being schemed against. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He had long since seen through all of this. This was why he acted first and forced Master Cloud Soul to teleport to another location. Then he trapped the old woman in the restriction so he could have a battle against Master Ashen Pine. While pondering, intense pain came from his right shoulder and sweat came from his forehead. He revealed a decisive gaze and swiped his left hand over his right shoulder. A wound immediately appeared and continued to expand until it revealed the seven-colored nail embedded in his bones. In an instant, the seven-colored light covered the entire cave. Shuligua licked his lips as he looked at Wang Lin and thought, the fiend is indeed a fiend. Not only is he ruthless to others, he's also ruthless to himself. After taking a deep breath, Wang Lin clenched his teeth, reached for the seven-colored nail, and mercilessly pulled with a roar. Intense pain came over his body. Wang Lin let out a muffled groan and sweat soaked his clothes. His body trembled and he was unable to pull it out. This nail seemed to have merged with his bone. It was impossible to tell it wasn't part of it. What was even more strange was that the seven-colored light seemed to have entered his bone. The bone of his right shoulder seemed to have become seven-colored. Wang Lin's face was pale. The moment the seven-colored light entered his body, his mind went blank. There was a hint of him going mad. Although this feeling disappeared in just a moment, it made Wang Lin gasp. At that moment, the madness was completely out of his control. It was as if his mind had fallen down many layers of hell and was sealed inside. He was no longer himself. Looking at his right shoulder, the seven-colored nail had shrunk by half. Wang Lin stared at the seven-colored nail. He had a feeling that if the nail disappeared completely, his bones would turn completely seven-colored. At that time, the madness wouldn't just be for a moment, but permanent. What kind of magic treasure is this? The wound on Wang Lin's right shoulder quickly healed and disappeared, covering up the seven-colored nail. After silently looked at the healing wound, Wang Lin closed his eyes and his origin soul began to struggle. Since he couldn't take it out using external force, he was going to try using his origin energy and ancient god power to force it out. Time passed and another 3 days went by. Wang Lin opened his eyes. With his cultivation level, he could only suppress it. He couldn't force out the seven-colored light, much less the nail. If I can only suppress it, then it is not the end. Now I just need help. If there are enough helpers, I should be able to force the seven colors and the nail out. Wang Lin silently looked at the jade bottle. This was Master Ashenpine's ultimate goal for coming to the seven-colored realm. Holding the bottle, Wang Lin's divine sense spread out. The bottle was half filled with black liquid. It looked like blood but didn't give off the smell of blood. Once I obtain Master Ashenpine's origin soul, I'll know exactly what this is. If I'm not mistaken, this should be related to helping him increase his cultivation level. He put the jade bottle in his clothes, stood up, and looked at the life and death restriction at the entrance of the cave. Then he looked at the woman in silver. You know the life and death restriction? The woman in silver pondered. After a long time, she whispered, There are some memories. Open the restriction. Wang Lin nodded slightly. The woman in silver walked next to the entrance of the cave and her jade-like hand gently slapped it. The restriction slowly dissipated and not a trace of it remained. Wang Lin didn't ask and waved his sleeves. Shuligua was about to speak, but before he could open his mouth, he was put into the storage space along with the woman in silver. After leaving the cave, Wang Lin took a deep breath as he endured the pain in his right shoulder and rushed out. He wasn't going to the depths of the seven-colored realm, but the outer mountain range beyond the valley. That place was filled with mountain peaks with fierce fog beasts. These fierce beasts were the helpers Wang Lin had thought of. He quickly flew through many valleys as he traveled along the path he came, heading toward the outer region of the seven-colored realm. Soon, he saw the tunnel leading to outside and looked up. His eyes lit up as he stared at the dense fog at the peak. He carefully went over the plan in his head and then revealed a decisive gaze. Although this trip was dangerous, if it could force out the seven-colored nail, it would all be worth it. Let's see how strong my ancient god body is. Wang Lin's body turned into a ray of light and shot at the peak of the mountain. Before he got close, a roar came from the fog and a giant, 1,000-foot-tall eagle rushed out from the fog. It roared as it shot at Wang Lin, and the fog followed it. It was too fast and instantly closed in. The eagle charged and rammed into Wang Lin. Wang Lin didn't dodge, he used his body to resist it instead. The person and eagle quickly closed in and collided with each other. There was a thunderous rumble and Wang Lin took several steps back. He didn't even try to reduce the impact, and all the force rushed into his right shoulder. This caused the seven-colored glow from his right shoulder to intensify until it penetrated his skin. From away, it looked like Wang Lin was covered in seven-colored light. The eagle beast let out an angry roar and was also knocked back. It circled once in the sky and rushed at Wang Lin once more. Wang Lin's mind trembled, but he didn't stop. He charged at the fog once more. At this moment, as the roar echoed, another eagle rushed out from the fog. This one was also 1,000 feet tall, and the two eagles formed two rays of black light that shot at Wang Lin. Popping sounds echoed and Wang Lin felt like countless mountains were smashing into him. His face became even more pale and blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth, but his eyes became brighter. These two fierce beasts were both rank 12, and their impact was extremely powerful. However, Wang Lin passed all the impact to his right shoulder. Even if his body got seriously injured, he was going to force the seven-colored light out no matter what. Half his body was covered in seven-colored light. With Wang Lin's method, it was as if the two eagle beasts were helping him force the seven-colored light out. As the seven-colored light flashed, it gathered toward his right shoulder. There was a flash of black light as the two eagle beasts continued to attack Wang Lin's body. His injuries became worse and blood flew out from his mouth, but his face was filled with ecstasy. As long as the root wasn't injured, an ancient god body could immediately recover. Even if he were to sustain serious injuries, Wang Lin wouldn't care as long as he could force the seven-colored nail out. He rushed toward the top of the mountain. At this moment, Wang Lin's body had reached its limit. The seven-colored light on his right shoulder had all condensed back into the seven-colored nail. Under these continuous blows, the nail seemed to have loosened and was showing signs of being pushed out. Just at this moment, another roar came from the top of the mountain and a third eagle flew out. It turned into a ray of light and mercilessly slammed into Wang Lin's chest. Wang Lin's body trembled, and the powerful impact caused his already injured body feel like it was going to collapse, but his eyes were filled with joy. He let out a laugh as his right shoulder burst open and blood flew everywhere. The seven-colored nail was inside that blood. This video will end here.